The time is 12:10, just after midday, and you're listening to the Mid Morning Talk with me, Fazila Isaac, on Salam Media. Don't forget, send us your messages on WhatsApp, engage with us on our Facebook page as well, and on Twitter. On the air right now, we're going to continue with our conversation that we started last week, something that is key in people understanding, families understanding how to deal with the devastating news of childhood cancer in the home. On air, we have Sister Shuhaida Adam from Islamic Careline. Assalamu alaikum.
Walaikum salam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Good to be back to
Welcome back.
continue the topic.
Yes, alhamdulillah, alhamdulillah. Okay, so we were speaking about, if I can remember clearly, the siblings and how the siblings are, how some tend to not feel or feel neglected when the family starts paying more attention to a child who has been diagnosed with cancer. Can you touch on that a bit?
Mm-hmm. So I think last week we also said how childhood cancer affects everybody, not just people in the home, but also people out of the home. So if we look at the siblings of the child who is diagnosed, we spoke a lot about the change that would happen in the family, especially if the child is now going to be seeking treatment. So the family will have to maybe change routine, maybe the plans that they had would have to change now because the child's treatment is going to take top priority for the family. So things like holidays may be set aside, usual routines are not there anymore, and other siblings may feel also that the parents are not necessarily supportive enough and are not necessarily there. So they may feel neglected, and they may also act out. But some other things that the siblings will also feel. We spoke a little bit about jealousy, and I think I explained it that it's not a sense of jealousy and anger from malice, but it's also just the jealousy stemming from the fact that they are not really, they're feeling neglected. Or sometimes they may see that the sibling, the child who is diagnosed, is getting a lot more leeway. The parents are less strict with this child, so certain siblings may feel jealousy. They can feel fear. They can be really scared about what's happening to their sibling. They can feel afraid that their sibling is going to die. They may feel worried about what exactly is going on. They may not understand. Younger children may not understand why is the other sibling, the child is diagnosed, why is that child so sick? Why are they not not able to tolerate certain moods? They cannot play with the younger children. Whatever the case is, whatever changes come about, they may not be able to cope with that. They may also be, in terms of their friendship circle, their friends may now be more interested in the diagnosed child and not necessarily the sibling themselves. They may also then have to cope with changes within the family life. Sometimes they may be seen to go stay with other family members because the parents cannot look after them at this point because they may have to go to hospital or, go to the bigger hospital to treat, etc. So there may be changes within the home environment, the family life. Granny may come and stay. So the children, they may not necessarily have such a good relationship with granny also. So that's just within the home environment. In the school environment, you may find that the sibling may also become very withdrawn and quiet. They may be fearful, they may be sad about what they perceive as happening to their siblings. And also they may be slightly traumatized because sometimes the children, the diagnosed child, when they come home after the treatment, they are extremely sick. They may be crying a lot. They may be acting out, and they may be expressing their frustrations and their pain. And the siblings who are on the side and watching it, they may have a sense of helplessness and may also be really afraid and scared, and may have, even in later years, they may hold PTSD, post-traumatic stress disorder, for unresolved trauma relating to the sibling's illness. They may also fall behind in their classwork, start skipping school, and start fighting, and start becoming more aggressive to the teachers and other friends. Okay, so it's important for parents to let the school know if a sibling is even diagnosed with any illness, that the family is going through this. So the teacher can be aware that the child may be experiencing different behaviors as in the usual because of what is going on at home. Then, of course, I'll just touching on that relationship with the siblings, between the siblings and the child who's diagnosed. Last week, I think I did speak a little bit about some siblings may feel guilty that they were fighting a lot with the child who's diagnosed, or they may have said mean things before, and now this child who's diagnosed is actually sick, so they may hold guilt also. So what parents can do is connect with the children, with the rest of the children who are at home. Continue talking to them, answer their questions of what they have about maybe what's happening in the hospital, what's happening with the cancer, how advanced is it, what is cancer in the first place? What does it mean when a child has cancer? What can you expect from the child who has been diagnosed? What changes can you expect there? So it's critical parents are on hand to answer questions and not to brush up the questions or telling them that this is not their business and it's nothing they need to know. Or sometimes parents may also want to shut down and not really talk about it. They may feel that it's something that it's private, it's something that they don't want to voice out loud. However, sharing the experience, it does help lessen the stress around it, and it can gain support. And with children also, it will make things a little bit easier so the children understand what's going on. So any situation, whether it's childhood illness, or whether there's an accident, a death in the family, etc., children will naturally be curious and they have questions about things. And if they don't get the answers, the correct answers from adults, they will tend to make up the answers as they go along, just to fill up that gap in their knowledge.
Yes.
So adults,
Shahida,
sorry,
we're
please.
just going to go for a quick short break. Maaf to interrupt you. We're going to take a quick ad break and we'll continue with that. I'm interested to hear about, how do you communicate this with the other children in the house? But we're just going to take a quick break and we'll be back with that.
Breaking stereotypes, moving boundaries, joining hands. Salam Media. Humanity sets the agenda.
Africa.
Did you know a sponsored water well and borehole allows children to go back to school, empowers communities, and is a means of sadaqah jariyah? There are many villages in Africa and Afghanistan that are in need of water wells and boreholes. Sponsor a water well in Africa at 14,500 rand, or a borehole in Africa and Afghanistan at 49,500 rand. Call Africa Muslims Agency on 011 834 8685 or donate at Africa Muslims Agency. .co.za. Africa Muslims Agency, inspiring the spirit of giving.
Give charity without delay, for it stands in the way of calamities. For child-headed households in Bloemendal in the Eastern Cape, the daily diet consists of white bread and a carton of cheap juice or sugar water, known locally as the poppy water diet. Make a difference to that one child or family. The Al-Fida Foundation has over the past 13 years worked on the ground and gathered the largest database in the Eastern Cape region of Muslim Zakah recipients. Phone our offices at 041 484 1288 or visit our website at www.alfida.co.za. The Al-Fida Foundation, your social investment partner in the Eastern Cape.
When the perfect blend of stylish decor, exquisite halal cuisine, and warm hospitality come together, it could only mean Al Bayt Lodge, your true home away from home. Al Bayt is the ideal heaven for families, business people, and tourists with its 4-star family rooms and other luxurious facilities. Conveniently situated close to Port Elizabeth Airport, the beach, and other amenities, your stay will be truly unforgettable as you'll be taking home lasting memories of the warm hospitality, the serenity and tranquility that Al Bayt has to offer. For reservations, call 041 583 6415 or visit www.albaytlodge.co.za.
Devastating floods in Pakistan have washed away villages, claimed the lives of more than 1,000 people, damaged nearly 1 million homes, and left over 33 million people in desperate need of help. As the catastrophe unfolds, Islamic relief is on the ground, reaching people with life-saving aid. Our team are working tirelessly to deliver food and shelter. Your support is urgently needed now to help save more lives. Donate now to Islamic Relief.
Salam Media, a global voice for humanity.
Reconnecting with my kindred sister, Nadima.
I went to Khus province and I met with the municipality leaders. We had the chance to meet with the general director for education. I met with community leaders in Logar, in Wardak. So they're all very supportive. They have opened the doors. Well, they're not their doors. It's the doors of the people of Afghanistan. But now they're in position to lead some of these communities. And they have a good vision of how the direction of the women will move forward, especially in terms of health and education. But now, how we provide support for this? How can these girls be picked up? There's no fuel. There's no money for the food. So they've come to me and shared all this with me. And now they're like, Nadima, now go get funds for this.
Salam Media, a global voice for humanity. It's a new beginning. It's a new era. Salam Media, humanitarian journalism.
The time is 12:21 and you're tuned into the mid-morning talk on Salam Media. On air, we have Shuhaida Adams, who is enlightening us on the effects and how to deal as a family with the diagnosis of childhood cancer. Shuhaida? Shuhaida, are you there?
Fazila, yes, let's carry on.
Okay,
So before the
yes.
break, you did ask me a question about how can parents speak to their children? How can they communicate about what is going on? Look, as a parent, you obviously would be going through so much on your own. Internally, there's so much processes. Your emotions may be quite up and quite down all over the place. So I think before we really connect with the children, as parents perhaps maybe just plan beforehand. What do you want to say to the children? Of course, they would need to be informed about what is the diagnosis that the sibling has. What it means, what are some of the changes that's going to be happening. So either the changes to the family or changes to the child, because of course the child is going to be he's going under treatment where they won't feel well, there'll be changes to their body, changes to their appearance, changes to their mood. So as you can see, there's a lot that you would need to inform the children. It's best to plan beforehand, and you can even plan with the child's doctor. If you are fortunate to have a doctor who is really engaging with you and very open, then you can get some of their advice, doctors, nurses, etc., part of whoever whoever is on the therapeutic team. But the key thing is to explain what is going on, what does this mean, and what is it going to mean now for the siblings, the changes that they can also anticipate. And you ask them about how they feel about it, what's going through their mind, and any questions that they may have. Try and answer it as honest as possible. However, it's okay if you don't have all the answers, and it's okay to tell your child, I don't know. Because a lot of information relating to cancer is rather uncertain, even treatments, etc. So while there are positive predictions, it's just one never knows which way the patient is going to respond. So there's quite a bit of uncertainty there. So it's key also to encourage your children to share their thoughts and their feelings. Okay, so they can share even whatever they are thinking about, the fears that they may have, anger, etc. And just try also to remember that often children, as they are going through this process, so the treatment may take a period of time. So your other children may see how stressed and how impacted you are and how your emotions are quite impacted. And they may then not want to say anything to bother you because they don't want to just add on further to your issues. So what you want to do then is try and make a little bit of time, and that's sort of one-on-one time with your children, with your other children. Just check in with them. How are things going with them? Even in terms of their schooling, whatever else is significantly happening in their life. You'd want to just sort of keep a little bit in touch with it as much as you can. Look, I don't want parents to put themselves under pressure to try and maintain a perfect running home, because understand that you are now running, you are trying your best to maintain something that is very difficult to maintain. And one thing I just want to touch on, I know we don't have too much time left, but there's something that we have to cover, and that is, sadly, sometimes you are going to be faced with a devastating news that there are no more treatment options available for your child. So recognizing now that perhaps the cancer is very advanced, or your child has taken a bad turn, and facing the reality that now there is nothing further that perhaps the doctors have said that there is now, your child is not responding to treatment or whatever it is. So facing the reality that your child cannot be cured from this. So usually with the therapeutic team, they then focus more on providing sort of the best quality of life towards the end of this child's life now. So what would that mean? What services do they offer? You'd have to look at that. And also just managing your child's pain symptoms, for example, or whatever other symptoms they're showing now towards the end. It's a lot more just about providing them with the comfort and ease towards the end as much as they can. And of course, as a parent and facing the reality of your child's imminent passing, it can be extremely devastating and heartbreaking for all family members. Sometimes you find that parents don't want to include other extended family members in the end. As the child is coming to an end, they don't want to. But just also try and evaluate the relationships that you have. If other family members are close to you, they would also want an opportunity to spend time with your child as your child is coming towards now the imminent end. So consider perhaps letting family members to help and support you, help even practically. So what will happen with the other siblings, what's happening to your home, etc. As you are now focusing on your child, and your time will most probably be fully consumed by caring for your child at the end. So look at whatever support you can get. It's extremely hard to do it on your own, to close people off. There's so much support that you can get that may aid you in coming to terms to the end of your to facing the end of your child's life. So it's just an encouragement for parents that if you have to face this devastating moment, try and look at what support you can get, and not to feel that you are burdening others. Oftentimes we find that family members want to be of help. Family members want to be there for you. They want to offer du'as. They want to offer, khatams that they will read, and support for your other children as well. And as a parent, you are, of course, devastated in your own way, but the siblings will also have to be informed, and they will need to know also that this is what is happening, because if they are under the impression that their sibling is going to recover, and then it just doesn't happen, then there will be so much also that they are dealing with, a lot of confusion, uncertainty that will aggravate the pain of the actual loss that will be coming through. And of course, as parents, you don't want to necessarily lie to your children by offering them false hope. If the child who is diagnosed, and sometimes younger children may not realize what does it mean that there's no more treatment options, that they will not be going to treatment any further. So speak to your team about whether you're actually going to be telling your child what's going on. Older children, they are more likely to understand that the cancer is more advanced and that there's no more treatment, and they can recognize that they are feeling a lot more sick. So they may also be facing with the reality that their time is coming to an end in this world, and they may be very scared. Concept of death for young people, for children, is extremely scary. So try and just provide them with as much support as you can, and also try and include the correct people who can support. So like I said earlier, therapists, you can even look at maybe some of your ulama who will be able to provide some spiritual comfort, especially for your older children, your older adolescents. Sometimes it's spiritual comfort with the child as they are reaching as they're advancing along with the illness, and the end is rather imminent. So it's a very hard topic to talk about, and it's very painful for parents to face. But try as best as you can to just try and have the right support around you. And it's okay to not hold it all together also at the same time. You are only human, and it's always an extraordinary situation. It is not normal. So you're not always expected to just hold everything together and have the perfect coping mechanism. Everyone is human, and that is why people like us are here to support you, inshallah, and really help you through this time. And even after your child has passed on, then reach out for help. It's not something that you have to handle on your own, and the pain and the grief. It's not something that you have to only feel on your own. So that support also, alhamdulillah, you will be able to feel as if you can carry on and build your coping skills through the grief, inshallah. And, if people want to, they're more than welcome to contact me directly, and we can plan a way forward with them.
Great. Shuhaida, I think the greatest takeaway from this is communication, and give a realistic, understanding of everything that is going on, especially with the children, etc. I think that is key. And also getting support, as much support as you require. Jazakallah so much again for joining us. Inshallah, we will speak again next week.
Inshallah. Shukran for covering this topic. And I'm hoping that because the month is meant to highlight childhood cancer, that people will offer support to other organizations who are working directly in the cancer field. Try and just offer whatever support you can, whether it's financially, whether it's your time, whether it's material items, inshallah. It will make a difference. And it will really go a long way, especially the children who are currently struggling with this battle right now.
Ameen. May Allah reward you for all of that, inshallah. Assalamu alaikum. That was Shuhaida Adam of Islamic.